first time in 2 months, the VYPE podcast has returned. We're without Tinley Kane today, but I'm still Will Turboff. That is still Robert Gonsolin to my left. And boy, are we excited to be back. Robert, how has your last few months been?
It's been good. Obviously, we missed a lot of basketball, but I got to actually watch some of it. We covered some us as students at Strict Jesuit. We got to call a couple games together, work together on a little bit on that. I'm running track now. I'm in track. How about you, Will?
Basketball season was great. I mean, obviously, football spilled over into it so much. Basketball was not postponed at all. So by the time that we really got just about a week off of basketball, of football, the playoffs for basketball had started, and I really enjoyed, covering them. I got to follow Beaumont United in a couple of games. Terrence Arsenault has become this household name if you're a big fan of Texas high school basketball. He had 2 amazing shots in the state championship game. Beaumont United, only their 3rd year in existence as a school, and they are already champions. For 6A, Westlake almost got their 2nd championship. They got a football championship on an undefeated season. That is our favorite team here at the VYPE podcast. And then they were just about undefeated. They lost 1 game to the team that they would eventually lose to in the state championship, which is Duncanville. And we're going to get to talk to Jaden Greathouse a little bit later on. But Westlake just has something crazy going on with their athletic programs.
Well, I just want to touch up a little bit on Beaumont, not just United, but the city as a whole. A small town in Texas, and going back to football season, Will, you know how much I like Beaumont, or I like to talk about Beaumont.
The 409.
Westbrook, 409. That's right. And it's just great when you see, even in 6A, when you just see a small town like Beaumont produce a great team, and you see them go all the way to state, beating out some of the bigger teams from some of the bigger cities, Houston, Dallas, Austin. It's just great when you just see a team like that come together and showcase their own talent.
Yeah, you would not believe the amount of people that Beaumont United has coming to their basketball games. I mean, like I said, 3rd year as a school, and they've got people from all ages, parents, grandparents, just people that went to other schools and really like cheering for a great squad. They've got quite a few guys, no seniors on the team this year, and they won a state championship. I thought that was just a great story, and hopefully Beaumont United will get another chance next year.
Was this their first year with a varsity team? I know that they've had school for a couple of years, but as a varsity team, was this their first year?
So what they actually did, from what Terrence Arsenault and I talked about, is they had a varsity team all along. So they were going against, they were a freshman team playing against varsity teams in that area. Last year, they started to pick up some steam. I think they made the playoffs, actually, just with freshmen and sophomores. And then this year, they took off. They didn't lose 1 game. I think 31-0 was their final record.
When you just start out playing against a harder level, that's what's going to get you to – that's really what's going to get you to farther teams, because you're used to that competition more. When you play teams on JV, freshman level, I get it. It's more convenient. It makes more sense. But when you're forced in that situation to play upperclassmen your entire season, I think it just gives you a little bit of an upper hand for your upcoming years.
Yeah, for sure. They were really motivated. They had a great coach, Coach Green, who has had a lot of success before at North Shore and some other schools. But there's another sport that we want to talk about, is baseball, because baseball is, behind football. They may be ahead of basketball the way things are going right now. There's a lot of great teams in the Houston area. Tompkins is one of them. They're 16-1-1 as of the time of recording this. Clear Springs has only lost 1 game. Actually, they haven't lost any games. 6-0-1. And Dawson is another school that has had just taken off completely in all of their sports. So, Robert, are there any teams that you saw at our VYPE photo shoot a few months ago for baseball that really stood out to you, and have you followed any of those guys? I know Katie, you got to make some good friends with the guys on Katie's
I
team.
made a good connection with the Katy Tigers. Now we actually talked about wanting to bring those specific 5 players onto our podcast because of how much of a just
Yeah, they were
fun
so
connection
fun
they
from what I heard.
they had a great time at the podcast. I have not been keeping up with them as much as, like you said, Tompkins has. Not to mention, they have a player on their team, also committed to LSU. His name is Lay. I've been having a hard time pronouncing his name, but Lace LaViolette. I think he's committed to LSU, and we know our guy Matt Malatesta. He's a big LSU Tiger. Tompkins, they're just stacked this year. I think that's the team that I've got to follow them.
Yeah, and Lake Travis is always going to be a powerhouse, not only in the state but nationally. They're ranked number 7, so I'm sure we'll be seeing them very late. Near April, May. I'm sure they'll be vying for another state championship. And Bridgeland is another team that's been very impressive, and they've got a little guy named Connor Weigman, who is quite the dual sport athlete. We're going to talk to Jaden Greathouse later on, but Connor is already committed to Texas A&M, not just to play baseball, but also football. And I think he's expected to be the starter right around 2023, 2024. He is just, I watched him at a 7-on-7 camp a couple weeks ago, and he is just something else.
He's just an athlete.
Crazy
athlete.
Our buddy Tommy Yarish, that's his favorite athlete, and hopefully we'll have him on soon. And Robert, you wanted to talk about track and field.
Yeah, when it gets to track season, I'm a little bit of a crazy fanatic. I mean, I compete in the sport as well, but when you just have Texas from start to finish in the season, every season, it's like they're sweeping the podium in every single event. Right now, in the 4x100 meters, let's just talk about, we were just talking about Tompkins in baseball. Talk about them in track right now. They ran the 3rd fastest 4x100 meter time in the nation of 40.98 seconds. That was originally ranked as the very fastest time in the nation. But then on March 11th, Duncanville, 0.02 seconds faster, 40.96. Just one day later, Killeen Shoemaker, they beat Duncanville. They ran at 40.62. And right now, the national podium in the 4x100 meters just has Texas representing it. Shoemaker, Duncanville, Tompkins.
Well, congratulations to Shoemaker, but I really think someone needs to have a conversation with the athletic directors at Tompkins and Duncanville, because every single sport they are just dominating in. Katie Tompkins' football team had their best year ever with Jalen Milroe, who's I think he's already enrolled at Alabama now, and their track team and their baseball team, like we said, it's really incredible how these smaller schools that were thought of as the B or C level schools in that district have now become incredible sports schools.
Also, like we just talked about, Bridgeland, the number 1, this isn't nationally right now, but the number 1 pole vaulter in Texas is Robert Pastel. I actually got to compete against him just a couple weeks ago at the Woodlands. He's jumping 16 feet 6 inches.
Robert, what's your personal record? Is it about 16 feet?
12 feet 6 inches. I was chasing 13 last season, right before the coronavirus hit. And then things got a little bit tougher to compete, but I'm actually getting right back to where I want to be. I'm getting 12 feet right now. Hopefully I'll get – my goal as a pole vaulter personally is to get as high as over that bar as I possibly can. Hopefully, I'll get to 13.5 by districts and win the District 23 6A. But give credit to some of these other guys in Houston. Robert Pastel, 16 feet 6 inches.
Yeah, well, Robert, maybe we'll have you on as our guest one week. But as for this week, we have Westlake sensation for both basketball and football. He is the tight end. He is a two-time state champion now. Here's our interview with Jaden Greathouse. All right, and we are here with Westlake two-sport sensation from both football and basketball, Jaden Greathouse. Jaden, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, yeah, you've had quite the school year from about August on. Have you lost any games other than that state championship against Duncanville in either sport?
Well, we lost in basketball. We lost to Duncanville, but I wasn't there. So personally, I didn't lose until that state championship game in basketball.
Are you enjoying the winning experience so far in as a dual sport athlete?
Yeah, you gotta love the wins. You gotta love them.
Yeah, I mean you guys
can't
were
be better.
Yeah, you guys were undefeated in football. You outscored everyone by quite a bit, other than North Shore. What was it like, going from being a freshman, just being introduced to that offense, to really being one of the most crucial players on a championship team?
You froze there for a second. What was
there? All right. Yeah. So what was it like from being, a freshman, just kind of being introduced to the offense, to this year being one of the crucial points of the team?
My freshman year, we had a ton of great senior receivers, Mason Mangum, Jackson Coker, so it was just, I got to learn a lot from them. They kind of took me under their wing so that I was prepared for the next year. And this year I kind of made sure that I took on the leadership role for the receivers and tried to lead by example every time.
So Westlake, they're obviously one of the bigger powerhouses in the state of Texas for football. And you came in as a freshman, played great. Your article with Sports Illustrated, it said you had 47 receptions your freshman year and 715 yards. To that powerhouse of a school, to kind of prove yourself and get on the depth chart right away, given that there are so many talented athletes there.
Yeah, obviously that team had a ton of D1 players, and then a great supporting cast, and then amazing coaches as well. But everyone believed in me. Everybody supported me through my ups and downs, helped me learn from my mistakes, and it was just a family. It was a brotherhood that we had going on there. So that was really what helped me succeed the most.
Yeah, you've got quite the connection with one of the best quarterbacks in the nation right now. He's one of our favorite players, Cade Klubnik. How have you guys, and I know he came in a year before you, how have you guys kind of progressed, getting to know each other? First of all, how long have you guys known each other? Because I know a lot of guys on this team have known each other for their entire lives.
Yeah. So I started playing 7-on-7 with Cade when I was in 6th grade. He was in 7th, and he invited me onto his 7-on-7 team, along with a lot of other players who are on varsity now. So I've been able to build a relationship ever since middle school with all the guys. Cade's one of my best friends. We're always hanging out and stuff. We're in a Bible study group together. So it's just family out here. He's one of my best friends, along with a lot of other teammates, and it's nothing but good times out here.
Yeah, I don't know if you posted or if he did, but it was a picture of you guys from last year at the when you guys won the first championship in I guess that was still 2019, and then it's almost the same exact picture from just a couple months ago. So I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And he just committed a couple of weeks ago to Clemson, and you've been racking up offers. So has Cade, do you think Cade's put in a good word for you? Maybe maybe to go join him there?
Uh, I mean, hopefully he's put in a good word. Yeah, but that's great for him. I was super proud of him. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there at his commitment party because I had a basketball game. But yeah, I would have loved to be there, and I'm so proud of him.
Yeah, a lot. Speaking of your recruiting process and all the publicity that Westlake has from all their talent, you racked up a lot of offers, like Will said, especially down in the South, Texas, OU, Arkansas, Baylor. I heard that the internet, they say you like OU, that you like their offense. What about Lincoln Riley's offense kind of draws your attention more to it?
Great success in the past, at Oklahoma, two Heisman Trophy winners at quarterbacks. So, it was just the history there. Plus you got to love the OU Texas rivalry. That would always be a game to look forward to. So, and great receiving core as well. Developing a relationship with the coaches is also important too. So I've just been loving the whole experience.
So players from Austin who've gone on to play at UT or OU, Baker Mayfield, Sam Ellinger, have you gotten to watch them growing up, or have they had any influence on you? Do you have any connection with them personally?
Yeah, when I got my offer from Texas, I went up to the campus, and I talked to Sam a little bit, and we hung out for a little bit. It was crazy to be there. It was awesome watching them practice and all that stuff. Previously I've gone out and thrown with Sam, along with Cade, and Cade's older brother Reed. So I've gotten to talk to him a little bit. So the relationship is there. Yeah.
Yeah, every player we talk to from Westlake and just generally in the Austin area, it seems like Sam and his brother have really stayed involved. They know how much success can come out of Westlake. One of the greatest quarterbacks of all time went to Westlake, just retired. But I want to talk a little bit more about you, because you're the #1 tight end in the country for the class of 2023. And like we said, you play basketball too. Are you planning on focusing on one sport in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I definitely plan to focus on football. But I still love basketball, and I love to compete, whatever I can, whether it's football, basketball, golf. I don't play golf, but if I could compete, I would. I just love the competitive spirit. So yeah, whatever I can, get somebody to push me, and I'll do it.
Yeah, that being said, so many guys, even the best recruits in the nation are going full force on the 7-on-7 circuit right now, and just any kind of positional camps, or just overall the All-American camp was just a couple weeks ago. Are you planning on joining a team in the next few months?
I'll definitely be playing 7-on-7 with Westlake, and going to the state tournament and all that stuff. So I'm super excited to be able to play, because obviously last year, because of COVID, 7-on-7 was shut down. So didn't have that to kind of help boost the team's chemistry over the summer, but I'll definitely be looking forward to it this year.
Yeah. Now, 24/7, you're listed at 6'2". I don't know if that's changed recently or over time, but 200 pounds, 205 pounds. What are you doing to get bigger? You have 2 more years left. Are you kind of sitting at the body size you want to be right now for your next 2 years, or how's that shaping out for you right now?
Yeah, I'm definitely lifting a lot. I've been lifting this week. Just trying to get stronger. I'm not really too worried about my weight or height or whatever, but just trying to get stronger, faster, more athletic in any way that I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said before, you guys are just trying to progress year by year. It's hard to get much better than an undefeated season with the state championship. And this class of 2021 was a pretty stacked class, and you'll still have, you and Cade as 2 pivotal points on the team. But are there any guys that are your class or freshmen now that have really stood out in the last few months?
Yeah, for sure. Some of the freshmen, we've been going out and throwing with some of the freshman quarterbacks, me and all the other receivers. So just trying to get them ready for the up and coming season. You know, um, Building chemistry is really important. It doesn't really matter how many quarterbacks are out there, because everybody should be getting reps out there with all the receivers, because you never know where you're going to be in the upcoming season. So you just got to stay ready at all times.
Yeah, and I couldn't get an answer out of you a couple of weeks ago, but there's been some rumors that someone will be joining you guys on offense. Can you still not give me an answer on that?
No, I cannot.
I'll take that as a yes.
Is there a more talent possibly coming in? Is there an unspoken understanding in the Westlake football community to always prepare for the future? Obviously, yes, but to prepare those younger guys, like Will was talking about, the freshman quarterbacks, making sure they're ready. Because it seems like every single year, y'all are just a step ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, with Cade's last year, being next year, once he's graduated, it'll be time for the up and coming freshmen to start playing a role. So, you just got to get ready as soon as you can. Getting varsity receivers is important, whether you're on JV or not, because at some point you're going to be on varsity, and it's important to develop the timing, the chemistry, all the stuff that goes into a real life game. You start to develop on the practice fields.
All right. Well, we really appreciate it, man. You've got 2 more years left, possibly in 2 different sports. So we know you're going to kill it in the next couple of years. Sure. And yeah, we really appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Before you go, your mom was a basketball player at UC Santa Barbara, correct?
Yes.
You have them winning today versus Creighton?
I haven't been watching too much basketball. I've been busy, but I've been getting to watch it just a little bit, keeping up with the scores and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon, man. Like we said, we just want to thank Jaden once again for coming on the show. We have gotten to make friends with some of Westlake's finest, Cade Klubnik, Michael Taff, who is now off to play at the University of Texas on a preferred walk-on. So congratulations to him. Like we said, Cade is committed to Clemson. Jaden's got quite a bit of time to decide where he wants to play.
Will, who's your way too early 2021 6A state champion?
Man, I think we're going to have a whole show about this. And I said it last year too. You can't bet against Westlake. I mean, just imagine if Westlake was to go back to back to back. It's almost like what Demetrius Davis was going for North Shore. So Cade Klubnik wasn't, I don't think he was the starter in that first team, but for him to lead several state championship teams would just be something incredible. And I know Dabo has, I'm telling you, man, Cade Klubnik is a future Heisman winner.
I want to say I'm going with Westlake too. I am. They're so dominant. Each grade seems to have a player that's so good or just ranked so highly among their class, the top of their class in the nation. I want to say Katie, but I'm not sure. We're talking about Division I right now, right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure if we're going to go Division I again, but how great of a matchup would that be between Westlake and Katie?
Yeah, Caleb Koger is still going to be there.
He's
a sophomore. He's a sophomore right now, right?
2 more years.
Yeah, that would be. I know Westlake and Katie played each other, I'm pretty sure, a few years ago in a state championship game, I think.
Before these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Before these guys were on the starting spots.
And Texas has just become quarterback central, Ewers, Klubnik, Hunter Weigman. There's a few other guys, but those are the big three, and all three of those guys will be starting for some of the biggest teams in the country. Give it 3 years, and I know they'll be household names throughout the country. But it's something else that I've gotten to really enjoy in the last few weeks is 7-on-7 football, because guys come from all across the country. I got to go to 2 tournaments within a day last week. One was in the Woodlands and one was in Katy, and there are guys just balling out there. Nico Marshall is a guy who I got to meet. He's actually from Chandler, Arizona. He's been working with a program here that does 7-on-7, and he decided that he would go to work with some guys from Houston, and he is starting to recruit guys to Florida State. And there's a lot of guys that are not committed from those tournaments, but there's some of the biggest recruits have decided, like Connor Weigman, that they want to go out and just prove not just to recruiters but to everyone that they deserve to be where they are. And the position camps are starting soon. Elite 11 is coming up just a few days there in Katy. I'm sure I'll see some of the best quarterbacks in the nation.
The Elite 11 might be as for quarterbacks, the event where you're just going to see the top, like the most, obviously it's so obvious what I'm saying, but that's your closest up view of the next upcoming talent at the quarterback position. Obviously, what I'm saying is anyone can agree with me on that, but it's your closest view, I'd have to say.
Yeah, this is a regional event, so this is how they'll decide. Usually at least one guy from each regional event makes it to that roster. But just, if you're watching this, go back and look at the list. Maybe not the last year or two, just because those guys all haven't had a chance to start in college yet. But Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Jared Goff, Mitchell Trubisky, I think that on their website it says that 24 out of the 32 starting NFL quarterbacks once performed in Elite 11, and I'm sure that list is just going to keep on growing.
I agree.
Yeah, so we're football 24/7, 365, but we're going to keep on covering other sports. I know soccer has started playoffs in the state of Texas, and track is as exciting as it's ever been here in baseball. So we are so excited, and Tinley will be joining us hopefully next week for our second episode.
We wish her good luck in her softball season too.
Yeah. So you're in track, she's in softball. I'm just doing this. So this is my only hope. We'll see you guys next week.